Hi there. If you've ever opened Blender and thought, what on earth is going on here? I can't learn this, this is too complicated, you're in the right place. I'm Eddie, I'm a professional 3D designer, and I've put together what's probably one of the most complete step-by-step Blender courses on YouTube. It's over 35 hours long with 70 plus lessons, all designed to take things slowly and clearly and without the confusion. I'm not going to rush you, I'm not going to skip steps, and I'm definitely not going to leave you pausing every 5 seconds thinking, wait, what did he just say? We'll keep things simple, really simple. So if other tutorials have felt too fast or overwhelming, please stick around. We're going to learn Blender together by creating this classic Land Rover and environment. Hello and welcome to lecture 47. And in this lecture what I want to do now is, let me show you in this picture here. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's a run of welding between this plate and this pipe. So we need to put a seam of welding along here to make this look super realistic and convincing. It's like I said before, it's these kind of details that'll really set this model apart. So to do that, we're going to use sculpt mode, because sculpt mode is a lot more organic than mesh modeling. As you can see, these shapes are great, but they're all quite flat and square and beveled edges, etc. Now we need something seriously organic. So yeah, for that we're gonna use the sculpt mode. But first of all, we need something to sculpt. So let's go ahead and press Shift A, and we're going to use curve, and we're going to use a path curve. Make sure that your orientation is on global, and let's rotate that in the Z, 90, enter, and let's press 3 so we see it from an orthographic view, and let's scale that down. And let's take that up. And let's rotate it. And take this back. Scale it down a bit. And take it back. And let's rotate it. And take it down a little. Until that's pretty good. Let's scale up a tiny bit more. But yeah, that's good. Let's press 1, see where it is in the orthographic view from the front, and let's take that in. So it's just touching both surfaces. That's what we want. Now I'm already on it, so I'll pretend I'm not. I'll go back over to modifiers. And let's click here on Object Data Properties. And here you'll find, because we've created this path curve, we have NURBS path created here, which is this object. So and within here we've got a set of parameters now to be able to adjust this path curve that we've got. And here at the top, make sure it's in about 12, because we need to create quite a lot of mesh in this to be able to sculpt it. So make sure this is on about 12. And geometry, we will leave that alone. And here on the depth, start clicking. And this is going to create a nice cylinder for us, as long as here is on round. And let's see what we got at 10. And I think I'll leave that at 10, but I'm also going to make the fill caps is on. There we go. With that done and we're happy, let's click on it, right click, and convert to mesh. Let's tap into edit mode and see what we've got. And yeah, we've got some mesh there. So that's cool. Have we got enough mesh? It's that balance again of having enough geometry to be able to model, but not too much geometry. Do we want to do something with this? Let's hit A and let's right click and subdivide once. Now we've got quite a lot of mesh in there. And it's just what we need to do for this thing. So let's tap out of edit mode and let's click on the object and let's go into sculpt. Now we've got quite a few new tabs that's come down the side here, which is all the different brushes that we can use to model. In this one, we're going to use not all of them, of course, but I thoroughly recommend that you come back again and have a really big play with this, because it's a lot of fun and you can do some super cool stuff. And as we do this now, this becomes more now of a bit of an experiment, and it's sculpting. We do a bit. If we don't like it, we take some back. If we don't like a setting that we're using, we drop it, and we'll just work it and work it, do some work, delete some of it, do some work, delete some of it, until we get something we like. But to start with, I'm going to go here to this inflate brush. I'm going to bring the radius down a little and leave the strength where it is. And I'm just going to left click on this area, hold down the left mouse button, and just do sort of little circular motions just to get this kind of blob effect just here like this. And that's what we want. And we're going to do this all the way down, just creating these little blobs. There we go. And keep on going and going and going all the way to the bottom. And you can see that this is a lot more organic way of modeling than mesh modeling, and it is a lot of fun. So even straight away, you can see the kind of effect that we're getting with this, and already starting to look like welding. So we'll carry on going down, creating these little bulbous effects. And the last one there at the bottom. And I'm going to use the crease tool, wherever it's gone, there it is, to kind of close the ends up a bit. Just do something like that, just crease tool to just do that at the bottom there, and we'll do the same at the top here too. Just holding on my left mouse button, just pushing that in. And now what I'm going to use is, well actually I'm going to carry on using the crease tool. And I'll keep the strength quite low here. I'm just going to click away just to try and get a bit of a waistline between these, like that. That's cool. Already starting to look a bit like a weld. Maybe there's some welders out there saying it's looking nothing like a weld, but I think with the cases of 3D modeling, I think it's going to look really good. So let's go over to the smooth tool now for a minute and just soften some of this off. So we'll just use this just to soften some of our mesh and sculpting that we've done, particularly at the top. Use it there. And as well, just use it just a little bit sparingly, because you could easily just flatten everything off. You don't want that. You just want to use it a bit just to sort of smooth this out again. There we go. So the next one I'm going to use is this one. It's called the elastic deform. And welding is kind of directional. So a welder will have welded from the top to the bottom or top to the other way. And you get a sort of flowing effect rather than this. So let's see what we can do with that. Let's see if we can kind of pull these down. So I'll use this elastic deform to kind of create a pull down effect like this. There we go. That's kind of what I want. Yep, that's good. Just carry on down, doing that to get this sort of directional looking stuff. And down there too. Okay, the next one I'm going to use is called the thumb tool. And with this one, we can just put a little bit of irregularity into it and just shape it around a little bit more. See what we can do with this. And yeah, just experiment really. That's all I can suggest with this, is just use these different functions to get the best results. And it is very much just a playing around thing. Pull those up maybe, so we get a bit of a blobby effect. There we go, that looks cool. Pull those up. That's cool. And just keep going like this until you get through them. Okay, that's looking cool. That's looking great. So is there anything else we want to do? I might just try with the crease tool again. Just trying to sort of just create a little bit more of a waistline there. Yep, just keep on working it through. And you can tell it is a lot of fun doing this. I really enjoy sculpt mode. So once you've done that, let's just try smoothing it off just one last time. Just try and soften our mesh. There we go. That's cool. Just to get rid of some of the sharper edges. Oops. And there we go. I'm going to leave that like that, because before you know it, you've played around too much. And yeah, so you got to know when to quit. So there, I'm going to go back to object mode. And I'm actually going to pull that in a little bit more. And just take that back a little bit more. And see what we've got. And then yeah, I think that'll look super cool when it's covered in the galvanized effect. The galvanized texture, I think that's going to look like quite a convincing weld. I'll pull that back in maybe a little bit this way. Maybe pull that in a little bit more this way. And yeah, that looks great. I really like that. So what I'm going to do now is make sure that we're in normals in our orientation. I'm going to press 1. And I'm going to press Shift D in the Y. And double click the Y if it doesn't come over, or double type Y on the keyboard. And just bring that over to there like that. And I'm going to rotate that now in the X axis. So R, tap X. If it's not where you want it to be, just tap X again and then rotate that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, let's move that over a little bit. And let's rotate that in the X again. So R, X, X again, and just bring that around until we get what we want. And just bring that over. Maybe I'll scale that down slightly in the X, so SX, and bring that down like this. And cool, that's our welding in place. I really liked that. I hope you enjoyed that lecture. I had a lot of fun with it. So I'll see. Oh, let's do a save. We haven't done a save in a while. So let's press Control S. So I just want to take a sec to talk about my website. If you're enjoying this tutorial and you like my take it steady, keep it simple approach, then why not head over to my website. There you can explore a range of courses I've created, including architectural visualizations and animation courses for Blender, or interior design courses learning to make photorealistic renders and animations specifically for Blender. If you're interested in learning AutoCAD, the most popular 2D design software in the industry, I've got you covered with a comprehensive course on that too. Plus, you'll get sneak peeks of upcoming courses so you can stay ahead of the game. To check it out, just click on the link in the description below and don't forget to use the discount code 20OFF to get, you've guessed it, 20% off all my courses. So now, let's get back to the tutorial. Thanks very much. Hello and welcome back to lecture 48. And in this lecture, let's just carry on with the windscreen and add the sort of final detail, which is the windscreen wiper blades. So let's see what they look like, and let's bring in a new image. Let's open and let's go back, go into reference images, and let's see what we've got. Let's have a look at this one, see what this looks like. Open image. It doesn't help us much. It gives us an idea, but not perfect. So let's actually bring in my Pure F panel. And like I said before, I thoroughly recommend you do this. Okay, so let's see what we've got here, what we can use. And let's have a look at this one. Oh, this is what we need. So it's kind of got an arrowhead detail there, doesn't it? So we can put this kind of arrowhead in, then it gets slender and more slender, and then you've got a neck to it, then a knuckle joint, and then the wiper blade itself. We won't worry about being super detailed. We're just going to put something in that looks a little more generic, just to represent a nice looking wiper blade. So let's give that a shot and see what we can do. And I won't actually put this in on the windscreen at this point. I'm going to build it down here on the floor, and we'll bring it in and scale it when we've finished it. Just because otherwise we're going to be building it on an angle, and that's not always that easy. So let's actually press Shift S, and let's bring the cursor to the world origin. And let's press Shift A and mesh, and let's bring in a cylinder. Drag this over, and it was at 32, and I think I'm happy with 32. So once we've done that, let's scale it down a bit more. Do something like that. And now, let's tap into edit mode. Press 3 so we can grab faces, and grab this face here, and extrude, and scale, and expand that like this. And now let's extrude on the Z, so E and Z, and take that up. Do something like that. And I'm going to press I for inset and bring that in like this, and maybe take that down in the Z now, so E and Z, and take that down like that, just to put an effect on it. Let's press 2 and hold Alt and grab this edge here, press Shift Alt and grab that internal edge there, press Ctrl B and let's bevel those. Yep, that's what we want. And I'm going to leave it, I think, maybe I'll up it to 2. 2's plenty, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to press 3 so we can select faces. I'm going to grab that face there. I'm going to press Shift, Control, and grab that face there like that. And is that enough? I think that'll be. I'm just going to hold Shift and add that one there to the selection. I'm going to press 7 so we can see this from above. I'm going to change my mind, and I'm actually going to take that one off the selection by holding Control and clicking on it. Press 7 again. That's better. That's even. And I'm now going to extrude that in the Z. So E and Z. And just take that out like that. Okay, we still have those selected. And let's just tap out of edit mode and see where the scale's at. And the scale's out, so let's press Ctrl A. And let's apply rotation and scale. Let's tap back into edit mode on that selection. Let's actually make sure that we're on global selection here. And let's now press S, Y, and 0, enter. There we go. And we've brought that in like this. I think the next thing I'm going to do actually is scale this down in the X. So I'm going to press S and X. Just bring that in slightly like this. And now I'm going to press E for extrude and scale and X and bring that out to create that arrowhead that we were looking at. To not big, maybe something like that. I'm going to press 7 so I can see it from above now. And I'm going to extrude that out in the Y. So E and Y and bring that out like this. And now let's scale that down in the X. So SX and bring that in to something like this. And now let's scale that down as well in the Z. So SZ and take this down to something like that. Okay, let's tap out of edit mode. And of course, now let's just take it further away from the Land Rover. And let's tap back into edit mode. And we still have those faces selected. So I'm going to press 7. And I'm going to extrude that out in the Y. So EY and bring that out quite a bit to maybe about there like that. That's cool. That's what we want. I think what I'm going to do now is add an extra extrusion. So I'm going to press E and Y and bring that out again, and E and Y and bring it out one last time like this. Okay, I'm going to press Shift and I'm going to grab that. Oh, I'm going to select, make sure I'm on edge selection. I'm going to grab this edge here now. And I'm going to grab this little bit here. And I'll press Shift Control and go all the way to there like that. And I'm just going to press Shift to make sure we've got that last little one in the selection. And I'm going to pull that up now to get something like that as an effect. Okay, now what? I think the next thing I want to do is we've got this edge here, which I'll press Alt and select. And I'll press Shift Alt and select the other one over there. And see what that's doing at the other end. Yeah, I think I'm going to dissolve those edges. So I'll right click and I'm going to dissolve edge. And hopefully that hasn't too much impact on the model. But those edges were just too close. It wasn't necessary. Okay, let's grab this edge here and this edge. And this edge and this edge. And let's go also select this edge and this edge. And this edge, that one and that one. Let's grab that one there too, and then that one too. And we'll hold Shift and we'll grab this one and hold Shift Control and grow to there. And with those selected, let's do a bevel. So we'll press Control B and we'll just try beveling those edges just to soften that a little bit to about there. And I'll leave it on 2 segments just to soften those top edges. Yep, that's what we want. I won't worry too much about doing the bottom face. In fact, we could actually lose some of this mesh. Let's do that. Let's press 3 and we'll grab that one there and I'll go to select and I will select similar and select all coplanar and I'm going to delete that. So I'll press X and delete faces. There we go. And let's leave that structure on the shaft. But we could also do the same here. So I could grab one there like that, go to select, select similar, coplanar, and let's press X and delete faces. That's lost some of the mesh that we didn't need. That's good. So what now? What should we do next? I think that's it for this one. For the arm itself, I think I'm happy with that. So I'll tap out of edit mode and I'll right click on it and shade auto smooth. And I'll just try whacking this up a bit. to maybe 50. See what that does. And yeah, I think that's the kind of thing that we want. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is tap back into edit mode for a minute. And let's just press Alt and grab, whoops, let's make sure 2 is our selection for edges. And press Alt and grab that one there. And press Shift S. And cursor to the selected. There we go, that's what we want. Because now we need to put some sort of wiper blade on this. And press Shift A and mesh and bring in a cube. And I'm going to scale that down to something maybe like this. And take that down. And maybe scale it down in the X, so SX. Take that in there like that. And I'm going to scale it up in the Y, so SY. And take that out like this. And some more SY. And just keep on going in the Y axis. So I'm going to use transform properties now just to scale that up like this. Cool. And once I've got that, I'm going to bring that down a little bit like that. And I think the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to press 2. And I'm going to grab that edge there and press Ctrl R and put an extra groove in there like that. Okay, I'm now going to press 3. I'm going to grab this face here and I'm going to scale that down a little bit like this way. And now I'll just scale it down in the X, so SX, and take that in like this. That's cool. That's the kind of thing that we want to do. And I think the next thing I want to do is grab this edge here. So I'm going to make sure 2 for edge selection. I'm going to press Alt, going to grab that edge there. I'm going to press Ctrl B, and I'm going to bevel that edge. And I'm going to make sure that it's just on 1 like this. And now I'm going to actually press E and S and scale that in. And I'm just going to scale it in on the X, so SX, and just scale that in to get a little detail there, like that. Cool. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is press 3, and I'm going to grab this face here, going to press I and inset a bit. And I'll scale it down in the X, so SX, and scale that in like this. And now I'll extrude that in the Z. So I'll press E and Z and take that up like this. And now scale that down in the Y. So I'll press S, Y, and take that in like this. That's what we want. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to tap out edit mode for a minute, and I'm going to grab this object, and I'm going to hit the slash key on the numpad to isolate it. And I'll tap back into edit mode. And with 2 as our selection, I'm going to grab it there, press Ctrl R, and put an extra loop in there in the middle like that. And I'm going to just grab just that top edge like this, and just bring that out like that. Just to add a little extra something to it. Let's press A to select all. And actually, let's hit Tab and let's have a look at the scale. And let's press Ctrl A and apply rotation and scale. Let's tap back into edit mode for a minute. And let's try pressing Ctrl B and see what we get. And just put a slight bevel on it like that, just to soften those edges, and that's what we want. Cool. Yep, that's perfect. Okay, let's tap out of edit mode and let's right click on it in shade auto smooth. And let's soften that up, an absolute treat. Let's hit the slash key and bring that back. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. We can actually just take this down, I think, a bit, like this. Yeah, that works. And do we want to do anything else to it, really? I think we could take this down a little bit further, even more, like this. And we could just put a bolt or a screw or something just through the middle of there. So to do that, I'm actually going to grab one of these screws here. So I'll hit the decimal point just to recenter on that. And I'm going to just grab that screw there. I'm going to press Shift D and Y and take that copy over to there like that. Carry on taking that over to the actual wiper. Press 7 so we can see it from above. And let's try scaling that up. And we'll try rotating that in the Z. So we'll press RZ and just bring that over. And maybe just press 1 now and see this from this angle and see what it looks like. And rotate that this way too. And maybe bring that down and in. I'd say we probably need to scale it up a bit, but that's fine. Let's press 7 so we see this from above. And let's take that to something like that. And press S and scale that up. We bring that over, put that in there like that. That's cool. And let's just bring a copy of that over to the other side. So let's press Shift D in the X and bring a copy over. And press R and just rotate it. And maybe bring that out a little bit more. Just something like that. Okay, that's cool. So let's see if we can link these items together. So let's grab this and then the screw, and the other screw, and then this arm, and we'll press Ctrl J, and we'll link all of those items together just to create one item called Cylinder 18. Okay, now let's see if we can drop this onto the Land Rover and see what it looks like. So let's instantly just scale this down and bring this in. And let's scale it down a bit more. And maybe have a look at it from 1 and maybe take it up. And press 3 from the side. And let's rotate it. And maybe take it down. Let's see what we've got. Let's bring it to the middle of this one. Like that. Bring it down a little bit more. And let's scale it down a little bit more. And let's try rotating. Oh, let's press 1 so we see it from the front. And let's press R and rotate it. So it comes over to something like this. And now let's rotate it in the Z. So let's press RZ and see if we can swing that out a little bit more like this. And maybe take it in. And let's try rotating it on the X now. So X, and take that in a bit more like this. And what else should we do? Let's take it down a little bit more like this. Maybe take it in a little bit more like that. And let's see what we've got. Let's tap into edit mode on this. And let's press 3 so we can select something, and select this face here, and press Ctrl plus to grab everything within that section like that. And let's go over and turn this over to normals. And now let's just take this down a little bit more and rotate it on the X just to turn this so it's a bit more orientated to the windscreen, which it is now. And let's just try scaling this slightly in the Z. I'm sorry, let's try scaling this. Press Z and hit Z again, there we go. And try just bringing this up and see what we get. And I'll rotate that a bit more on the X. And then, yeah, let's see what we got now. There we go, that's cool. And that's in position. That took a minute, but that's okay. Let's press the tab key and tap out of edit mode. And there's our wiper blade. So what we can do with that is just press 1. And let's grab this one and press Shift D. Let's actually just bring the normals back to global and bring that copy over to the opposite side like this. Cool. Okay, that's added some extra detail to it. And they look pretty good. I think when there's some extra textures in those, that'll really look the part. We can actually see now, if we rotate that, let's just try rotating that and see where that comes to. And yeah, that's perfect actually. As far as the size is concerned, that's absolutely perfect. So I'll just press escape to cancel that command. And there we go. That's the end of the windscreen. And that's the first of our real detail that we've added to this model. And it's really starting to pop now. So I think in the next lecture, we're going to continue to model the additional details on the front end of the car and start to bring this all together. So, yeah, thanks very much. I think I'll make myself a cup of tea and a biscuit, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more tutorials just like this, be sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you can get notified when new content drops. You can also check out my channel for more episodes of this series, or you can head over to my website to explore my full range of courses. Okay, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.